in the movie section, we do have a couple of follow-ups. First up, we're talking about the Blade movie. That's right. The Mahershala Ali Blade, the one that's coming to the MCU officially, just nabbed its writer. The name of the writer is Stacey Osei Kuffour. I think that's close. I apologize that I butchered it, but I think that's close. You might not know the name necessarily unless you are really into reading credits. And the credits that you would have read that name in that have, that are pertaining to the nerd universe at large is the most recent HBO Watchmen. Now, I know some people really loved the HBO series, even though it got just the one season, and there is a lot wrong with it. In my mind, that's me just being a jerk. But I will say this: the writing was actually pretty solid, and the cinematography was actually pretty solid. I just feel like there was a lot of liberties taken with some characters I really, really enjoy from comic books of old. Anyway, that's all about Watchmen. We're talking about Blade. So we do have a writer for the Blade series. She's from Watchmen. That's all we really got, so we're moving on to the next piece. Next piece is also a follow-up, and it has to do with Borderlands. We got casting announcement that Jamie Lee Curtis is going to be Tannis, based on Dr. Patricia Tannis from the game. She is an archaeologist on the planet of Pandora, and she'll be joining Cate Blanchett, Kevin Hart. I think there was somebody else that I didn't put in the notes, but those are still pretty big names. Jamie Lee Curtis, though, in a video game movie, what an awesome time we live in, right? Moving on. Okay. First actual piece of movie news is a new announcement of a new movie called Baphomet. The reason this is relevant, because it looks like a garbage B horror movie. The reason this is relevant to the nerdists, or to the nerdy ones at large, is because it's going to feature the acting talents of Dani Filth. If you don't know who Dani Filth is, he is the lead vocalist for black metal for beginners band Cradle of Filth, which is interesting on so many levels. Again, not the least of which being that this is going to be a really mediocre B-level horror movie. So I'm really interested to see what's going to be brought to the table by Dani Filth. I don't know how good of an actor he is, but I do know he does like to act because he, for a long time, thought he was Prince Lestat. So, his version of Prince Lestat. Anyway, it's just hilarious. I had to put it in here. We're moving on to another piece that is almost equally as hilarious, but kind of on a grander scale. We have Deathrider in the House of Vampires. This is another B-level horror movie. This one, though, from the mind of Glenn freaking Danzig. That's right. The man who brought us Veronica 2 years ago, I believe, which was something. Is now doing a spaghetti western vampire movie starring Devon Sawa that he also is going to be, Danzig himself is also going to be in, and Danny Trejo, and there's just like this crazy big list of people that are like, did you lose a bet, or do you owe somebody money? Why are you in this movie? Are you trying to just do anything you can to be relevant? Well, Danny Trejo will always be relevant because Danny Trejo is awesome, but Devon Sawa, come on. So that one, there is, if you follow the link down in the show notes, there is a link to the trailer that you can go check out, which is... You'll see everything I'm talking about when you watch it. I did not catch a release date for either of them, though I believe the Glenn Danzig movie is sometime in the next couple of months. I'll update you if it's relevant, if it's really necessary. I just wanted to raise the awareness of these two movies because music people are doing things that aren't music. So yeah, we're moving along. We're talking about Dungeons & Dragons. This is another casting announcement, but this is also kind of, we haven't really talked about this movie, so that's why I didn't put it in the follow-up section. Michelle Rodriguez has been cast in the movie, but also they're making a new Dungeons & Dragons movie. This is going to be I don't know if reboot is necessarily a great... Well, I don't know. The last... I'm thinking of Warcraft. There have been a number of quote-unquote Dungeons & Dragons movies, and they've all been garbage. So hopefully this one, because of the high-profile actors that they're looking to cast, this one will be a little bit better, though the last one that comes to mind had Vin Diesel in it. So, I don't know. He's arguably a higher profile than Michelle Rodriguez. I don't know where it's going to go, but it's going to be a dumpster fire either way, and we're going to sit back and roast some marshmallows. So our last piece, as great fun as we've been having in the movie section, our last piece is a bit of a downer. As I was editing and uploading the last episode, news broke that Christopher Plummer died, and that was pretty terrible. It's really not a great way to go. He fell and bonked his head effectively and spent a few days in the hospital, and then he passed because of complications. He was 91 years old and he was climbing a thing that he then fell off of. So like, it makes sense considering all of the things. It's just so not awesome. We're going to take a minute for Christopher Plummer because he is a fantastic talent that will absolutely be missed. And that, guys, always going out on a bad note, that, guys, is the movie section.